Ken, it's been a long time coming,
Oh, yes, it has.
but a change is going to come. And that just happens to be the song that we're going to discuss today.
Yes. Love this song.
Now, the difference is we're not just going to discuss one version, we're going to discuss the original by Sam Cooke, and then we're going to talk about a cover version by his protege, Otis Redding.
Yes, the two best versions ever recorded.
I wouldn't even doubt that. And this song has been covered a lot. Not only covered, but sampled by a ton of rap artists.
Yeah.
I mean, this song has staying power.
Absolutely. It makes sense.
And usually I'll ask you, I'll say, hey, is this song still relevant? If there was ever a song that is still relevant,
Yeah.
it's this one.
It is this one.
And let's talk about that a little bit. Now, when he wrote this song, Sam Cooke.
Mm-hmm.
When Sam Cooke wrote this song, we are knee deep in the middle of the civil rights movement. Okay, so we're talking about 1964, the March on Washington, the Civil Rights Act. We're talking about marches. We're talking about sit-ins at the counters. This is knee deep.
The violence on the news.
The violence on the news.
Hosing and beating the dogs. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, using the dogs. They weren't beating the dogs.
Or the beating dogs attack. Yeah.
Yeah, the dogs were attacking.
Yeah.
Right.
Peter would have been
No,
upset.
but you're right. You're right. And for Sam, I like the backstory to this because Sam was inspired by Bob Dylan.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, the year before, Bob Dylan had written Blowing in the Wind. The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. Okay, about the civil rights movement. And so Sam was inspired, and he's like, how can a white man encompass this feeling, this change, this social movement
Of my world and my
Right.
reality.
of his reality, your reality?
Yeah.
And he said, no, I got to do better. And that's when he came out with The Change Is Going to Come.
And I love it. One, I love the fact that Sam Cooke was listening to Bob Dylan. You know,
Sure.
two complete opposite ends of the music spectrum that are titans within the world of music.
Yeah, definitely Titans. And Bob Dylan was still on the rise, right? He's not the Bob Dylan you and I know today.
Yeah, he was someone that I would actually pay money back in the day to go see.
Right. And so when he wrote this song, it was an anthem, but what really surprised me was he never performed it live in concert.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for me, this is a song that I think would have brought the house down. But you know what? Because of the time it was written, I think in certain parts of the country, if you would have played this song, it would have caused riots. That's how
That's how it was
powerful the
back
song
then. Yeah,
is.
especially during this period of time. People touring through the South, yeah, it was contentious.
Just having long hair, the Beatles, the Stones got that pushback just for having long hair.
Yeah.
And if you tell me that a black man's going to come in saying you can hold on to your tradition, but a change is going to come,
Yes.
you're going to get riots.
All types of riots.
And so part of the reason he also never performed is because he died not too long after it was released.
True.
And the song was a minor hit. Okay, it hit the top 40. But I would say that for as many hits as Sam Cooke has had, Cupid, Another Saturday Night, right? Keep naming them. Help me out.
Yep.
Come on, Ken.
No, I see the one he did with Lou Rawls singing background. See now. Yeah, I know, right on the tip of my tongue, and I play this song.
Man.
I perform this song.
I wanted this. How'd you just stutter on that?
I know. I'm
Sam Cooke.
I know. It's crazy. It is crazy. You did say Cupid.
You send me, man.
That's not the one I'm thinking of. But yeah, you're right. You Send Me, which is also a very great song. You know, the one on my mind, watch, tonight when I go to bed, it's going to pop right into my head.
He wrote 100 songs, man. You can name one.
Because I have one stuck on my mind.
I'm not buying it, man. I'm not buying it. Anyway, I don't even know what the original point was. What was the original point? He wrote all these songs, okay, that were
it was
huge
prolific,
hits.
Yes. And this one
Huge
should
hits.
have been
And it wasn't his biggest hit, but it is the one with the most staying power.
But
it's the one where if you say, name a Sam Cooke song, this is the one that you and I chose to talk about today.
Yeah. And in that aspect, as far as history has shown us, the songs of significant staying power during their time when they were released, yeah, they didn't get so far, or very far up the charts, if you will. Whereas the decades that followed, because of the significance of the lyrics of the songs, they've managed to sustain.
Yeah, now, there's a story, and I read this on Wikipedia, because that's our research tool. Okay, that another protege of Sam Cooke's, Bobby Womack, you know, girl, if you think you're lonely now, just wait until tonight. I love Bobby Womack, great guitar player.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. He told Sam Cooke when he heard this song that it sounded like death. And that was why Sam Cooke said he's never going to play it. It's too spooky.
Oh,
too creepy.
See, I would have figured it was too complex as far as the arrangement.
Well, there's that too, right? Because let's dive into this musically, okay? Because musically, when you listen to Sam Cooke's version and Otis Redding's version, you're listening to the same song, the same meaning, right? The same lyrics. However, Sam Cooke's version, more like an orchestra. You know?
Yeah, it is a very tight arrangement. You can tell this is clean, concise. Not to say that Sam's or Otis's isn't intentional, but this was definitely prearranged. They were reading charts here off of this one.
To be honest with you, for me, in my ears, it doesn't sound like soul until Sam Cooke starts singing.
Yeah, till he opens his mouth.
But the musical arrangement might as well be Frank Sinatra or something.
Yeah, you put Andy Williams there.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So when Sam Cooke plays it, there are those hints where you're like, hey, you know what? No matter what, this is a black man playing this song. Okay, so we talked about his voice, which is unmistakably Sam Cooke. You cannot mistake Sam Cooke's voice.
But this arrangement, as you say, because you cannot mistake Sam Cooke's voice, this arrangement also, it is an embodiment of his style. Because this arrangement is clean cut, it's smooth, it's dapper, it is very well arranged, just like everything we hear or see of Sam Cooke. We know Sam Cooke could sing a Denny's menu, but at no point in time do we ever associate Sam Cooke without being polished.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, I get you.
He's still a soul artist, but he's just polished. He is always on point.
But you know what makes it feel a little dirty? Are those horns coming in at the break.
Yeah.
You know, it's like this glorious charge. Those horns saying, hey, we're coming through. You can't stop us.
At the third and fourth
The movement's on.
Yes.
Do you know which part I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's third verse and fourth verse. Yep.
So explain what's going on there musically.
So the interesting thing, this song, 4 verses, a bridge. Song even time in 4, so we get the first 3 verses up front. Third verse is when those horns come in with the drive, that march feel. They touch on it, then they back away. Bridge, and at the end of the bridge, the horns, they come out big in our face along with his voice. And then that last verse, they're driving, Sam is opening up, and they're taking the song out, or as they'd say back in the day, they take it home.
Right. And the thing I like about this version is that it's a song of triumph. You know, that sound says, hey, look, we're coming through.
Yeah.
And we're going to triumph. We're going to win this fight. It might take longer than it has to, but we're going to win. The sound has a triumphant feel to it.
Yes.
You know, but on the other hand, my man Otis comes in, and Otis is a protege of Sam Cooke, right?
Thank goodness.
Otis comes in, and he says, I'm going to get rid of those strings. I'm going to get rid of that orchestra. And I won't play this in a dirty old bar in the South. And I'm not just going to observe what's going on around, because I live it, right? Yeah. Otis is saying, I live in the South.
Yeah. I
see this thing that's happening.
This is my tour circuit, yeah.
Right. And so you have those thunderous drums, Steve Cropper playing that sad guitar.
Yeah.
But you know what Otis did keep in his version? The horns.
Yeah.
And he's still sounding those triumphant horns.
Oh yeah. What I love about Otis's version, everything you pointed out is what I love, because limitation spawns creativity. Otis said, hey, you know what? We're going to take, Sam, that's a beautiful song. Me and my band, we're going to play this song and we're going to take it on the road. We're going to perform this in front of people. You wrote it.
Even if it sounds like death.
Yeah. It's a great B-side. People need to hear this. So I love the way they arranged it, because it's like, hey, all right, that's what you did in the studio. This is what we're going to do here.
And so what did they do differently? Because Otis's version is a full minute longer than Sam Cooke's version.
Yes. And so bands back in the day, what they would do when you're performing live, and I told you my basis of music, got to be able to dance to it. So got the song going, whether they're shaking or they're grinding. If you can notice and feel that it's getting a good reception, all right, go back to the bridge. Go to the bridge, take out the last verse. So you would extend the song. And because thing about Otis, when you hear this song, you could tell, all right, they're road dogs. They perform this song live, well, a bit of paycheck on it.
Right.
And it is such a great song. You cannot hear this song and not get a response. If you're sitting in a club back in the day and this song, they're performing it, yeah, they're going to get a response. So I could see how they had naturally gotten so used to repeating the bridge, going back to the bridge for a second time performing this song.
And Otis isn't one who's going to shy away from cover songs either. He had a top 40 hit with the Rolling Stones, Satisfaction.
Yep.
So Otis isn't afraid to make something his.
Yeah. And so for them to go into the studio and be like, all right, let's lay this down. The same way we've been playing it night after night.
Now correct me. Now, Otis actually wrote Respect.
Respect.
Right? So Aretha covered Otis on that one.
Yes,
so I just wanted to make sure that's clear. I wanted to make sure that we give him his props. Maybe we should do that one day, compare the Aretha and the Otis Respect version. But to be fair, we could probably do this comparison with Otis all day.
Yeah.
That could be our whole show. Otis Redding versus the world. Right?
Yeah.
But we're not going to do that. Let's get back to this. But Otis's version, I just said that Sam Cooke sounds like Triumph. Otis's version sounds like he's being kicked in the dirt.
Like struggle,
man.
absolutely.
Like he's struggling.
This one sounds like struggle.
It's the blues, man. He's like I said, he's stripping it bare. He's taking all the polish off. This is like an old guitar that's been beat up and carved in and torn apart.
Oh yeah. If you listen, what I want to say, third verse, with the line, "Too tired of living, but too afraid to die." If you listen to both of them when they sing that, it's almost night and day, but the inflection, the emotion, the feeling, it captures you no matter which one of them sings that line. It hits you. Now,
socially, there are clues. Like you said, the one you said, it's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die. But what really punches you in the gut is the second part of that verse, because I don't know what's up there beyond the sky.
Yeah.
That's a man who's, I'm not going to say he's questioning God, but he doesn't know what he's going to find when he gets up there.
As he's pressing forward, yep.
Because right now we're talking about the segregated South. So think about how that would play on someone's head. Does that mean when I die and go to heaven, heaven's segregated too? Oh, black people to black heaven, white people to white heaven? Like,
yeah.
How does someone rectify that in their heads?
Yeah.
I mean, so to me, that really kind of grabbed me, really. Or something, and as a history teacher, I taught this, man. When I go to the movies and I go downtown, somebody keep telling me don't hang around. The sections, the black people had to sit at the top of the theater, right?
Oh yeah.
Whereas the white people got to sit at the bottom.
Yep.
The segregation of the water fountains, of the pools, the restaurants, like this. I can't imagine living that time. I mean, we are living in crazy times right now.
Oh yeah.
You and I would not be doing this podcast in 1964, 1965.
And not down here.
Or not in the South. Not in the South, that's for sure. Maybe in Detroit we could have gotten away with it.
Yeah.
Maybe in New York City, right?
Yeah.
And England for sure.
Absolutely. Definitely not down here.
Yeah, definitely not in the South. So for me, just the power of this, but the way each man interprets these lyrics to where, like I said, man, Otis, when he sings it, it's like he's sitting at the lunch counter, right? Like he's being told right there before he belts out the line, no, you're not welcome here. But when Sam sees it, it's almost like he's reading it from a newspaper.
Yes, thank you. Hit it on the head. Sam is narrating.
He's an observer.
And narrating it from, not say from afar, because he's there.
Because you're a black man in the 60s, you're going to feel it. Right.
Whereas, like you said, Otis is sitting at the counter, almost like a live broadcast, where he's there getting food thrown at him, and he's giving you a Phil blow-by-blow play while it's happening.
Right. And so just with the sound of the music, when you have the MGs, right? The MGs are backing us. Were they always his backing band?
They were part of the studio, so yeah, you're going to get them.
I hope it's the MGs, because I always associate Otis with the MGs. So I just assume that's Booker T playing the piano. I just assume that's Donald Duck Dunn on bass.
Hey,
right?
Studio limitation. You run with what you have. So
okay, However, when you compare these two versions, you still know that is a black man singing, and he is talking about this specific moment in time.
And his truth.
And their truth. But what they couldn't have known, because they both passed away tragically. Mind you, having hits posthumously. Yeah. But what they couldn't have known is that we're still waiting for the change.
Yeah.
To this day. I mean, not saying that advancements haven't been made. They have. But we're still waiting for that universal change to recognize that dream.
And one of the things that makes this song relevant, or gives it the staying power, as we like to say, humans, every corner of this globe, that's what drives us. That desire, that holding out for that strive, that pushing, that hope that a change is going to come. It doesn't necessarily have to be in this societal context here, like this song, racially motivated. Just you're changing life, you're changing station. Every human can identify with this, because every human's trying to get to a better
changing
place.
Age, man. Like you and I have already said, we've already lived more than half our life. we're going down the hill, not up it. Okay, I mean, you're right, though. I mean, it's going to come whether you're ready for it or not.
Yeah.
And I hope that when we reflect on this year, 2020, that everything that's gone on, the turmoil, the pandemic, the protests, right? The unsettling effects of society as we see them, that it affects some sort of change. Because the change is going to come.
Yeah,
whether it's a good or bad,
yep,
it's going to come. And so I want us to leave on that note, okay, discussing the song. But now I'm going to put you on the spot. Whose version do you like better, Sam or Otis?
I'm going to have to stick with Sam. That's been my childhood go-to. I always loved it because it was cleaner. Yeah, like I said. And that's my childhood now.
I'm just dirty, man, because I'm going to go with Otis all day long.
And now what I will say, I have a much better appreciation for the Otis version now than I did as a kid.
To me, when you have a subject that holds as much weight as the civil rights movement, you got to be dirty, man. You got to be out in the dirt. You can't be polished.
Now, you know? I feel you.
So I'm going Otis all day long. Those horns, that drumming, the voice is just as powerful. It's different, but it's just as powerful.
Yeah, no,
Otis
absolutely.
is Otis.
Absolutely.
But what were you going to say before we wrap it up?
I was about to say, you're right about getting dirty, but props to Sam Cooke for maintaining his classy demeanor about it and keeping it real.
And I think we'll leave on that note. So for everybody out there, I hope you enjoyed today's show. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button. And if you enjoy all of our shows, please subscribe. Until then,
peace.
Bye-bye.